This Christmas,
But you have
show her that you love her. Get her the new Foreskin Pearl.
I want a Foreskin Pearl. Foreskin Pearl is the name of my new...
Warning, this podcast contains violence, sexuality, gore, and other horrible and disturbing things. Listener discretion is advised. Also, the hosts of this venture are ignorant dipshits, so please do not take anything they say as fact. And enjoy the show.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
Today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be.
The atoms in your left hand probably came from a different star than your right hand.
It is our basic human right to be fucked up.
A second plane now has crashed into the other tower of the World Trade Center.
Put chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
The defendant shall be incarcerated for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men.
We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
Oh, cause very charges.
I'm going to say pop punk band, Foreskin Pearl.
Okay. Fuck, you're funny. You know how fucking funny you are?
Sometimes.
You're so funny.
I'm really drunk right now.
With your band names, though? Fucking hilarious.
I'm really good at naming bands.
You're really, really good.
The two of you should shave your heads like Ood and I, and then we could just call ourselves the Foreskins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun, because there's 4 of us.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will not be shaving my head,
I'm not shaving
however.
my head either. I'm not cutting my hair. This is now, like, officially, I think, the longest my hair has ever been.
Yes, I think it's the longest that it's been since I've known you. For
Reclaiming the skinhead image is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Start the show.
Hi, hello. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to Occult Day Veritatis podcast. I am Sage Murray.
We're the podcast that melts in your mouth, but not in your hands.
No, gross.
Do we not do that?
I would kind of want to melt in people's hands, I think.
Yeah. I'm Wood Gallifrey, by the way.
I'm a mouth melter personally, and my name is Leon Filger.
And also joining us in the studio we have.
Ready to melt in your mouth, Richard Bigley.
What about the hand?
Yeah.
It's a little rough sometimes in the
And have you ever tried to wipe cum off your hand with a Kleenex? It
Yes,
shreds
it's
the
gross.
Kleenex. You need a wet towel.
Yeah, well, you need to go wash your
Or
hands.
something like that orange powder that they use at like industrial sites for like oil spills and
Okay, well,
shit.
I
Yeah,
have not
yeah.
tried that.
I'm sure that would be really effective, though.
We probably have some of that up at work.
We've been overkill.
I wish I cummed steam.
Cum steam.
That'd be much cleaner and make a nice little whistle sound.
Honest to God, I just come sad.
When he gets so steamed up, you hear him shout.
Okay, gross. Okay, what's
Hold
your...
on. Speaking of cum, which episode, our next recording session, we're doing cum cakes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let me know when you need me to make that shit. I have the...
Next recording session.
Okay, when is the next recording?
I don't know. We'll sort it out.
Okay.
But for those of you occultists who haven't been paying attention, the next recording session on my episode, we're going to be doing cum cakes.
Yep.
So basically, Sage and Mr. Sage Murray are baking some cupcakes.
Mr. Sage Murray said he wants nothing to do with it.
Well, he's got to be the control. He's the science behind it.
Right, okay.
Because half of the cupcakes are getting 3 eggs, and half of the cupcakes are getting 2 eggs and some of my semen. And then we're doing a taste test to figure out which one's got the cum and which one's got the eggs. And then whoever wins a prize, and it's more cupcakes.
He shouldn't think of it as 2 eggs and sperm. He should think of it as like 2 woman eggs and 1 man egg.
No, gross.
Yay, haploid cells.
Yay. We're just bringing the haploids back together like a big happy family.
Happy haploid family.
Yeah.
It'll be an adventure. We have it just sitting in our freezer right now.
I'm so sorry.
And
I thought we would have it done by now. But
it's okay. It's okay. It's just hanging out in my freezer. Mr. Sage Murray doesn't put anything near it. It's kind of like in its own
island.
Yeah, it's an island in the door of my freezer.
Does anybody in your house eat toaster strudel?
No.
Okay, that's good. Safe. There's an easy mix-up right there.
Yeah, we try not to eat too much frozen stuff. We normally eat fresh.
This icing is saltier than
to avoid the cum cake.
To avoid the cum. No, just like in general.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now it's time. Okay, I'm doing lady cult leaders like I promised. Now we're doing What's Your Poison?
So, what's your poison?
It's beer.
Yeah. This is Bowen Island Reef Break Hemp Blonde.
Thank you. It looks delicious. I'm going to read the thing. It says, Oh, that was a nice pop. Deep beneath the strait's heavy currents, in the still waters where the seaweed gently sways,
That tastes like pot.
there's a reef alive with ancient creatures. Its cream-colored towers seem sculpted by the ocean itself. All is calm under the high seas. Relax with a reef break.
That's actually not bad.
This is good.
It's from Bowen Island, which is like a BC, like a brewery.
Yeah. If bong water tasted more like this, then I'd actually drink it.
I haven't tried it yet. I just smelled it. It smells good.
Oh, by the way, that's what you should do for the $100 thing. You should take a shot of bong water.
I would, sure.
Oh, but we got to bong it up real good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is really good.
It's got to be an all-night pumper.
Yeah, I'm in. Because what we should do is take our respective bongs to our homes. Bigley's in on this, and just bong water the fuck out of it till like we're just sucking through tar.
Yeah.
I don't have a bong.
And then combine. Well, that's because you're gonna drink the bong water. We'll provide you with one.
We're gonna
Okay,
and then we
fantastic.
combine our 3 bong waters.
Yeah.
And Sage has got to do a 1 ounce shot.
And we do
Okay.
a good, reduction sauce. And
Can I hold your puke bucket?
Yes. Okay, I will throw up into a bucket that Leon will hold because I likely will throw up.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna hold your puke bucket.
I really like this beer.
It's pretty good. It's not super shit.
No, it's good.
My favorite is the contrast in temperatures between this hot room and
room
the
is
cold
hot,
beer.
yeah,
This
fact.
beer is like really cold. Really blonde though. Like if there is a beer that tastes like a blonde beer, I would say that this one is it.
The temperature differential is such that the beer is sweating. There is a lot of condensation on the outside of the beer can.
It's pleasant on my hands
It's nice.
and other parts.
So I'm going to rate this right away because my tongue knows what it thinks of it. Have you ever gone to the beach with foreskin? Maybe not yours. Bigley and I.
By the time I made it to a beach, my foreskin was long gone.
No, yeah, that's right.
no.
That's I'm so sorry. We haven't talked about your missing foreskin in a lot of episodes, but I still.
That episode was deleted in the great Ood computer fuck up of 2018.
Yeah.
So
no.
we're gonna record it again someday.
Yep. Anyway, so this is like going to a nude beach, which is awesome. I've never done it, but I know I would like it.
Okay.
Like it would be super duper fun. I want to go to a nude beach.
He's that perv who's going to
No,
just
I'm
sit
not.
there and stare at everybody.
No, he just wants to be free.
I just
Leave
want to
him
be free.
alone.
Honest to God, I just want to be free. My son, my 5.5-month-old son, likes to be free, and I
Yes.
envy him so much. So much he gets to pee on things, and like, oh fuck, I just want to pee on things too.
With their cute little almond penises.
It is a
They're
little
so-
almond
oh.
penis. Anyway, so the point is,
so cute.
I rate this beer going to a nude beach and being free, which is good, but getting a little bit of sand under my foreskin because there's something about this beer that I don't quite like.
I kind of think that it tastes like almost how the beach smells.
The nude beach or the clean beach?
The clean beach. Like it's like kind of got a little bit of like maybe like a salty taste like on the back of my throat.
That's what
she said. I know. I like it though.
I'm gonna pretend the beer is surf on a beach now.
Yeah.
No, I don't taste it.
No? I don't know. I really like it. Maybe it's a little bit earthier.
My palate
Than a
is
blonde
remarkably
that I
shitty though.
It's not very earthy. I think you're tasting something else, but it's not earthy.
I'm drunk off this shitty red wine that we just drank. It's literally called medium dry wine.
It was shit. It's the worst wine we've ever had on.
Oh,
Conte
it was
Veritatis.
bad.
Yeah.
The worst ever.
But it's okay because I drank a lot.
Why did you buy that?
Because it was cheap and it was literally a medium dry
It's
wine.
literally what you asked for.
Yeah. Okay, so I will rate this beer like an 8 out of 10. It's good.
Yeah, I'm sitting right there with you, 8 or 10.
Fiji is paradise, and Grace Road says it's building heaven on earth. About 400 members of the controversial church have left South Korea for the Pacific, led by their controversial guru Shin Ok-ju.
The demon possesses our thoughts.
Along the way, they've built a sprawling business empire in Fiji, enormous farms, a restaurant chain, dentists and hair salons, even a building company. But its explosive growth has generated tensions.
I'm baffled and I'm confused. They have dominated a very significant aspect of our economy over here.
And the group's still haunted by persistent and disturbing allegations of abuse. These pictures, broadcast by a South Korean network, show Shin Ok-ju hitting her followers and ordering them to hit their family members too. Shin Ok-ju was arrested by police in Seoul last year, accused of confiscating the passports of her followers followers and preventing them from leaving their compound. We wanted to see for ourselves what was happening, but our calls to Grace Road's leaders went unanswered.
This call is being diverted.
So we drove to the front door of its compound in lush farmland outside Fiji's capital, Suva. But we were turned away. The secrecy is increasingly disturbing Fiji's mainstream churches, and they want Fiji's government to launch a full investigation.
Getting of the truth. What we want is the truth, because our people have been victimized.
It might seem strange that a South Korean cult has put down roots here, thousands of kilometres from home. But former members say Reverend Shin Ok-ju predicted a great famine on the Korean peninsula and said they would find safety and prosperity in God's country, Fiji. But for some, this dream has become a nightmare.
Lady cult leaders.
You said it.
Okay, so I just basically gave like the spark notes of a whole bunch of cool ladies. I don't want to give you too much because I want to do big episodes on a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah.
Anne Hamilton Bryan started the family, which is not the same family that I did an episode on already. This is from Australia in the 1960s, which is the same time as the Manson family. So here in North America, where we are, they were probably overshadowed by all the shit that was happening with the Manson family, but they're still super fucked up. So here's a little bit of a teaser. So Anne was born in 1921. She was a yoga teacher and she was super religious. Her recruits were middle-class families, and they kind of just met 2 to 3 times a week to talk about like spiritualism and mysticism and stuff. Anne took the Sanskrit name Ma Yogi Shakti. She revealed that she had a divine vision after a while. She convinced her followers to give up all their kids.
Oh.
And she basically adopted all of them. So she conducted these illegal adoptions. She took the kids.
And like the parents didn't come along?
No, well, the parents were still a part of like her cult, but the kids became her kids.
Oh.
Which was illegal. She had about 28 kids, like ish, who were told that Hamilton Byrne was their biological mother.
In general, when you have more kids than you have fingers and toes, it gets complicated.
Yeah. So she changed all their last name to Hamilton Byrne. The kids were all raised in a very secluded house in Lake Eildon, Australia. They dressed the same. She dyed all their hair the same color of blonde. They were given LSD as an induction to the cult.
Okay.
Yep. So
LSD can't be good for like a developing mind.
No.
Hasn't there been evidence found that like hallucinogens in general aren't good for minds and development?
No, of course they're not. Yeah. They changed pathways and stuff. So the police raided the house years later in 1987, which is the year I was born, after one of the kids actually told the police what was happening. So one of the kids escaped. But Anne was only charged with perjury and conspiracy to defraud because she named 3 unrelated kids as triplets. The kids alleged to suffer horrific abuse. They were taken away from their mothers at birth. One woman, whose name was Sarah Moore, said, this is in quotes, "The cult doctor arranged for my biological mother to be drugged and made to sign an adoption form. During my birth, a pillow was put over her head. She was given major tranquilizers, and as soon as I was born, I was taken away instantly. She wasn't even allowed to look at me."
Wow.
So yes, I'm going to do a full episode on that. That's just like a little taster.
Weird. She had such an obsession with like gaining more and more children. And like all their hair had to be the same. Did she want it to be like her hair color?
Yeah, she was blonde.
Christ.
Like you should look at pictures. It's like Children of the Corn.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So the next lady cult leader that I found was named Clementine Barnabette. So in the 1900s, she became the leader
I just want to say that this beer is, are you ready for this? Is so good that I've just cracked a second.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, I'm not drinking it. It must be good for you.
It's good.
I like it too.
That's good.
Bigley's got a second too.
I'm drunk, so I'm kind of nursing it. Trying to be responsible.
That's good, because I'm driving you home.
All right, so in the 1900s, she became the leader of a voodoo cult called the Church of Sacrifice.
Oh.
The cult was founded in Lafayette, Georgia, so it couldn't, like she was a black woman, so it couldn't have been easy to be one at that time in the 1900s in Lafayette, Georgia.
No kidding. That's multiple stigmas working against you at once. Like being a woman in that time, being an African American in that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So her preaching became deadly when her followers killed 40 people with axes while they slept. It escalated quickly.
As you do.
Yep.
I mean, you can't be the Church of Sacrifice without some sacrifice.
Yeah, it's literally called the Church of Sacrifice.
Yeah.
So they did it as a devotion to their high priestess, who they believed immortality could be gained through human sacrifices. 17 of the murders were attributed to Clementine, who was considered the first black woman serial killer.
Wow.
It's like, good for her.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you get to be the first. Yeah.
She's the first. And I could do another whole episode on her. The next one that I found was...
We did the first killer family. That'd be a good way to go the second. Yeah.
The next one I found was a woman named Amy Semple McPherson. She was one of the first celebrity preachers. She was like super gorgeous and like very glamorous, like jewelry, and like her hair was always done and she always looked great. She made her church super theatrical. So like think today's mega churches, like what's it called?
Joel Osteen?
Yeah, like Joel. I literally wrote
Fuck
Joel,
that guy.
Joel Osteen, and like the church in Saskatoon where they like do like all the rock music and like it's kind of like a concert instead of.
Did you hear when the hurricane hit? He wouldn't let people in.
Yeah, he sucks.
You'd maybe be a little more Christ-like, you fucking prick.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So Amy alleged that she was a healer that spoke in tongues and claimed to be able to cure the blind. She was one of the first women to try to evangelize to as many people as possible. She actually had a radio broadcast and did some on-camera sermons, which we will definitely be posting.
I have come to Broadway, the Mecca of sin, the citadel of worldliness. Oh, I feel, in answering this invitation, as though I should like to stand in the midst of the Broadways of America and lift up my hands and cry, stop! You're drifting away from the faith of your fathers. You're drifting away from prayer, drifting away from the Bible reading, drifting away from the family altar, and only ruin and a heartbreak and a home break lay in the direction of backsliding. I am coming out to help bring you back, if I can, to the fold. Give me a burden for souls, Lord. Give me a love for the lost. Let my heart bleed as thine own, Lord. Give me a burden for souls.
Okay, I get the whole like, who's that guy that has two P's in his name and he did like a bunch of Peter
Popoff.
Like, I get the whole like, oh, your back feels better, or like, oh, I'm gonna take the pain out of your knees. How the fuck do you like
cure blindness?
Yeah,
apparently she did. She probably had plants.
Yeah, that's probably you wouldn't be able to do it any other way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she disappeared for a while and was actually found in Mexico, claiming to have been kidnapped. This was obviously fake, and she was brought back to the U.S. on criminal charges. So again, like I could do a whole episode on her life.
Oh yeah.
Next is Bonnie Nettles. So she co-founded the Heaven's Gate cult with Marshall Applewhite. Yeah,
that's a good one. I want an episode on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm for sure doing an episode on that.
Give it to me.
Yeah, I will give it to you. She believed that if they killed themselves, they would ascend to a UFO following the Hale-Bopp comet.
Ooh. Yeah, that's up there.
I remember seeing Hale-Bopp.
Me too.
It was tight.
I saw it with the guy that introduced us.
AMAC.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this little comic that was drawn where it's just like a young boy saying hi to Hale-Bopp and then an old man saying hi to Hale-Bopp and then just a gravestone saying hi to Hale-Bopp.
Yeah, because it only comes around so often.
Yeah, little cycle of the universe.
So,
did you know that when I was like 2 years old, my dad took me out front of the house to see Halley's Comet?
Oh, cool.
It was around, and of course I don't remember it, but I'll be dead before it comes around again.
Yep, y'all will be.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, Bonnie Nettles died of cancer 2 years before the famous mass suicide. So she didn't get to do that suicide with the rest of the Heaven's Gate folks. Also, go look at the Heaven's Gate website because it is like a throwback to like Angel Fire and Alta Vista sites.
I believe they left somebody behind just to keep it going.
Yep, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Really? Like there's still updates?
Yep.
Like I could imagine them all like dying and therefore nobody's around to edit the website.
Nope.
But if it still updates, that's
Well, think all those people killing themselves. They had a lot of money that could be passed over to keep a project going for many, many years.
For any of our guests under the age of 25, Alta Vista was a kind of weird thing that was kind of like
a
MySpace and kind of like
precursor to Google.
This is
Homestead
literally what the
Google.
website looks like.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like GeoCities.
Yeah.
There's dancing sprites, and there's like if there's a counter saying you're like the 100,000th and 14th visitor, it's probably on that.
Yep. It's very much like
Alta Vista was the shit before Google was even a thing.
Yep.
If the hamster dance like uploads on a website as you go into it, there's a chance.
Yeah, this is probably Alta Vista.
Yeah.
Check out the Wayback Machine if you want to see more of that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I used to use Ask Jeeves.
Oh,
Ask
yeah.
Jeeves. I was all about Metacrawler
Metacrawler?
and Yahoo, which I later found out was actually powered by Google.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Yahoo because, like, in addition to being a search engine, websites were categorized. Like, you go to like arts and entertainment, and then you could be like
Yeah.
TV, movies, books, etc. And you could just navigate down till you got small to like.
You could just browse.
You just go to like one subcategory after another. To like at one point you're at like TV or I guess websites for Apu off of The Simpsons because that's kind of how specific you could get down in the subcategories. It could be like entertainment, TV shows, Simpsons, characters, Apu kind of thing. And there'd be like 3 Apu fan sites.
When I was in grade 4, I think it was the first time I logged onto a computer. There were 600,000 websites.
Wow.
Period. In the whole world, 600,000.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind at how many websites that was.
Yeah.
Now there's how many trillion?
Yeah.
Well, this podcast itself has 2 websites. It has a LinkedIn website and it has like a Squarespace website.
We
Do you have a LinkedIn website?
set up a blog like leonfilger.com or something like that.
Oh, fuck.
Paint it on the side of your car.
We should paint this podcast on the side of his car.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Bigley, I need to state to you very clearly, I have never once in the 15 years that we've been best friends found you even remotely sexually attractive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
I found you sexually
thank you
attractive for like a
sharing.
minute.
Every time you come into my house, I get like a quarter cup.
Thank you, Ood.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I
it's okay.
didn't
It's
know.
fine.
So I come into
but the
your
thing is,
house like 4 times. You got a full chub. Is that how?
Yeah, you got to go in and out of the door. It's
and
really
out the
more of
door.
a hinge fetish than anything.
When I first met Sage, I thought she was like almost gorgeous.
Yeah.
But almost.
Yeah.
But not quite. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that
Well,
in
no,
like a
that's
terrible
fine.
way.
It's fine.
There's that
You're
picture
certainly
I
attractive.
have
You
of-
just weren't my
Type.
thing. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I felt with you too.
Yeah.
Because we were set up to date.
We were set up to date, and
Yeah.
then it just was like no way. But
No
holy
way.
shit, we have everything in common and
Yeah.
love hanging out.
Yeah. So we just end up being friends.
Well, I got that picture of you from like the arts tunnel back in when we were all babies. You know.
Oh, yeah, when we were little babies. I love you guys.
Yeah.
So the next person I had, her name is Valentina de Aderain.
Ooh.
She founded the Superior Universal Alignment Cult.
Did you know that Valentina Tereshkova
Oh,
was
I
the
do
first
know.
woman in space?
I didn't know that.
She was
because I
also
learned
the
it from
second
you.
youngest woman to ever be in space.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, carry on.
She founded the.
So just random science fact. Yeah.
That's okay. There's no science in this episode.
Okay, all right, carry on.
She founded the Superior Universal Alignment Cult in 1984. So she claimed that she received messages from extraterrestrial beings, which gave her, in quotations, universal knowledge. So the cult believed that the world would end in 1986, and only members of the cult would be able to escape, and spaceships would come to them and bring them to safety. But that's not even the weirdest thing that they believe. So they believe that children, especially those born after 1981, were the reincarnation of evil. Dun dun dun.
They were those fucking millennials.
I was born in 1987.
Yeah.
So I'm a reincarnation of evil. So members of the cult had to give up their kids and give them either to the foster system or to like aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever.
Yeah.
The cult has been accused of ritual abuse, mutilation, castration, and murder of 19 kids from the ages of 8 to 13. They allegedly used their genitals in voodoo rituals.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. So 5 defendants were found guilty, but Valentina was acquitted. I'm definitely doing an episode on her because I don't give a shit about you guys. I'm doing an episode. She's cool as fuck.
Doing stuff with genitals. That's always a winner.
Yes. Genitals is always a winner.
Yeah.
All right, so the next woman that I found was named Silvia Moraz Moreno. She was a co-leader of the La Santa Muerte cult in Mexico. She was born in 1968. So basically, they believed in ritual sacrifices to the saint of death, who was a woman saint. They believed that the human sacrifices would curry favor with the saint. Silvia herself orchestrated 3 murders of 1 adult and 2 kids. Their throats were slit, and they basically just let them bleed out, and the blood was smeared across an altar. There are many other adherents to Santa Muerte. You know, other people would mostly leave like cigars, spare change. This is Mexico. So there are roadside altars everywhere. It's kind of like a weird combination of like Christianity and like Santeria kind of thing.
Yeah.
Beneath a towering effigy of Lady Death, Enriqueta Vargas leads worshippers in a new religion that's as old as time. Housewives, laborers, and children raise their arms in exultation. They kneel in prayer. Some worshippers enter on bended knee. One family brings a 3-month-old for a baptism. They line up for blessings from Ms. Vargas and cleansings via sprigs of wet herbs brushed over their bodies or cigar smoke puffed into their faces. Ms. Vargas, once a devout Catholic, is an evangelist of sorts for a Mexican folk saint known as Santa Muerte, or Saint Death. A growing number of Mexicans are turning to Santa Muerte instead of the official patroness, the Virgin of Guadalupe, in a practice that the Catholic Church has publicly condemned as blasphemy. The cult of Santa Muerte mixes pre-Hispanic traditions and beliefs with Catholic rituals. Followers construct elaborate altars to the saint, who is depicted as a cloaked skeleton holding a scythe. They chant rosaries and light votive candles before Santa Muerte statues, while offering flowers, booze, candy, lit cigarettes, and other gifts. They ask for love, protection, and prosperity.
Bueno, la mayoría de las gentes que nos hemos acercado a pedirle algo, nos los ha concedido. Y como dicen muchos, es la que más pronto realiza los milagros.
Santa Muerte is a fusion of the Grim Reaper, who comes to claim mortal flesh, and the Aztec goddess of the underworld, Mictlantecuhtli. She has a strong following among the incarcerated and the marginalized, while public altars to her can be found in Mexican metro stations, markets, and on street corners. Some devotees view Santa Muerte as a benevolent bearer of miracles, while others see her as a vengeful, supernatural entity.
So they would just leave like cigarettes and stuff, but this cult believed that they needed human sacrifices. It is a registered religion in Mexico. She's often considered the patron saint of sex workers and drug dealers.
Oh, that's nice. I like that they have a patron saint.
Yeah, like there's a patron saint for fucking everything.
I mean, world's oldest profession. You would expect it.
But they just went like one step further with believing that they could use like dead people to curry favor from this saint. So if you want me to do big episodes, actual episodes on any of these awesome ladies, like I'll probably already be I fucking already have the research done. So I would love to do episodes on them. Let me know.
Okay.
That's it.
There we go. And of course, I'm going to be putting in some clips in here just to show you what some of these ladies sounded like and like some of their activities, because there's going to be news reports up and down the ages all about them.
Yep. I'm glad that you asked me about lit lady cult leaders, because some of these guys are just awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So for Occulte Veritas, I'm Sage Murray.
Ood Gallifrey.
Leon Filger.
Joining us in studio.
Richard Bigley.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Have a good night.
Cheers.
Bye.
There we go. Another Sage Cult episode down and over. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Our palate cleanser for this week is Long Live the Dead by the band Dog Hand String Band. If you want to hear your music on the show, just send a high-quality MP3 or audio file to ovfeedback@gmail.com. See you in the after show.
They come to Well, what happened to old Smith Jones? He grew so hard he blew his bones. Well, there ain't no remedy for that. Just snake oil mixed up in a sack. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Make live me soon to go. Well, I remember a while ago I asked the street, I told me I've got Lord, I've got Lord. But the couple never came. No, she came out and dancing. What the Billy Bob with her little man back like baby boy. But between her arms. And what happened to old Smith Jones? He grinned so hard he blew his bones. Well, there ain't no remedy for that. Just snake oil mixed up in a sack. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. 'Cause the future's always dark and this song is all we know. Long live the dead. Make live me soon to go. Well, she came out the swamp with a little tiny little hell between her heart and her deadly arms. Well, she came out the swamp with a little tiny little man. What happened to old Smith Jones? He grinned so hard he blew his bones. Well, there ain't no remedy for that. Just snake oil mixed up in a sack. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Oh, make live me soon to go. Long live the dead. Make live me soon to go.
Alrighty, so once a while on the Twitter, I'll ask for smitings and blessings from Val.
That's fun.
And people will submit people Val wants to smite and people Val wants to bless. So these are the prayers to Val for this after show.
We also have some blessings to ask for. So we asked you to bless Terry F. from Calgary, who has been volunteering for over 15 years at a no-kill pet shelter, and she works for 10 to 20 hours at a time. Please bless her. She's doing really, really good work.
Yeah, and the person that sent this in also said that this is on top of a full-time job and raising 3 kids.
Wow. Okay.
So-
Well, she's amazing. Terry's amazing. I
Yeah.
don't know if Terry's a boy or girl.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we love you, Terry.
Yeah. Next up is coworker Helia. Yeah. So apparently somebody wrote in they want to bless their coworker Helia and their daughter. They didn't want to name the daughter because they're underage and all that. But she heard her friend's daughter calling somebody out for slut shaming at 7 years old.
Awesome.
And it was kind of like, oh, my friend's raising her kid right and all that shit.
That's
So-
awesome. Well, please bless Helia.
Yeah.
Please bless my coworker Helia.
Yeah. Would you like to read the third one?
Yeah, anyone who needs it. Did you write this, Ood?
I did. I didn't mean effectiveness.
It's seasonal effectiveness disorder. Okay, so anyone
Seasonal
who
affective disorder.
has seasonal affective disorder, myself included.
Myself included.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to you for not giving up.
Yeah. We love you.
Yeah.
It's tough, I know.
Yeah. I mean, it happens to anybody that has to like be cold and stay inside and not have as much sun and
It's
just like
it's the darkness for me. Like I used to live in Vancouver, and part of the reason that me and Mr. Sage Murray moved back is because it may be like minus a bajillion degrees, but at least it's sunny.
Yeah.
Jumping into piles of leaves and baking apple pies are fun, but seasonal affective disorder totally isn't. Think you might have it? Here are 6 signs you may have seasonal affective disorder. 1. You're either sleeping too much or too little. When we change our clocks back 1 hour for daylight savings, it saves us an extra hour of sleep. But sometimes that's not always the case. Seasonal affective disorder is caused by the changes in our circadian rhythms, melatonin and serotonin. The faster it gets dark outside, the more it can disrupt our internal clock, which can cause our body to produce too much melatonin, leaving us feeling drowsy or lowering our serotonin, which can take away from our sleep. Both melatonin and serotonin govern our sleep and wake cycles, so when the levels alternate, it can make a good night's sleep nearly impossible. We recommend taking a nice warm bath before you get into bed or curling up with a cup of hot tea. It doesn't hurt to also light up some lavender candles to help your mind and body calm down after a long day. The more relaxed you feel, the faster you'll fall asleep. I personally also really love ASMR. 2. You're experiencing appetite and weight changes. Are you experiencing food cravings for sweets or salty snacks? With the cold weather, it's tempting to binge on junk food in front of the TV, but this is how SAD gets you. We don't want to sound like your mom, but it's important to eat your fruits and veggies. If you have a craving for carbs, we suggest you eat whole grain and add some bananas to your oatmeal. This will boost your serotonin levels. Foods high in omega-3 fats will also help you combat depression, such as fish, walnuts, and soybeans, because they can improve your mood. 3. You don't enjoy your usual hobbies. We get it. Some days you just don't want to do anything after you get home from school or work. But if this starts to become consistent, it might be SAD kicking in. Losing your energy or your drive to do your favorite activities is a dead giveaway to this condition. You might find that you also have trouble concentrating on tasks. We recommend that you go outside for some sunshine. Getting your vitamin D is essential. Those who face a deficiency in it often experience tiredness and body aches. You'd be surprised just how much a 10-minute walk can do for you. If you can, we suggest going out in the morning. That way, it starts your day off right with the fresh air. 4. You have frequent mood swings. This is something I struggle with a lot. The waterworks are no joke, and when they happen, sometimes they come out of nowhere. It's okay to cry, but we hope if you're in the same boat, please don't hesitate to reach out to loved ones, or to us. Which brings us to point 5, you withdraw from others. It's natural to cancel plans when a snowstorm is coming, but if you're being a hermit 24/7, something's definitely up. Come out from those covers and call up your friends and family. They want to be there for you. And if you feel guilty for ditching them, don't let that consume you. They'll understand when you bring up SAD. It's a lot more common than you think. 6. You get suicidal thoughts. This is probably the worst symptom of all. It might feel like a dead end is approaching when winter doesn't learn to let go, but please remember that spring is right around the corner.
Yeah, so if you want to send in a smite for Val to smite somebody or a bless for Val to bless somebody, hit us up on our Twitter or email it to us at ovfeedback@gmail.com, and when we have a bunch more of them, we'll read it out again.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm Ood Gallifrey.
Sage Murray.
Leon Filger.
Have a good night.
Love you, bye.
Cheers.